Hello, dear friends, welcome to our YouTube channel, USA Football Zone, latest football highlights. This was not just a football match, it was history. It marked the fall of an impenetrable fortress. Inside the legendary Maracanã Stadium, a venue that had long stood as the symbol of Brazil's invincibility across 64 consecutive World Cup qualifying matches, a nation did not merely win, they conquered it. In the very heart of Rio de Janeiro, Argentina did not simply defeat their eternal rivals, they utterly dismantled them. This 1-0 victory shattered one of the longest-standing home unbeaten streaks in the history of football, but this night was about far more than just the scoreline. It was a tale of chaos, immense courage, and the unwavering determination of a world champion squad to prove their worth precisely at the moment when everything around them had spiraled completely out of control. How did this situation come to pass? How did Brazil's hallowed home ground become the setting for their very first home defeat in World Cup qualifying history? We present to you the full, unvarnished account of this historic clash, the confrontations, the goal, and the intense, raw desire for victory. The date was November 21, 2023. The atmosphere in Rio was electric, yet the tension was far more acute than the usual fervor surrounding a standard fixture. This is a rivalry that frequently veers into violence, where national pride hangs in the balance with every passing moment. For Brazil, however, this match carried an additional layer of gloom. Following 2 consecutive defeats, they were navigating a turbulent period and facing immense pressure. For Argentina, the reigning world champions, this presented a golden opportunity to rub salt into their rivals' open wounds. Yet, even before the match could kick off, the simmering tension suddenly erupted. As the national anthems of both nations began to play, clashes broke out among the spectators in the stands. Brazilian police, wielding batons, stormed into the section housing the Argentine supporters and launched an assault. The scenes were utterly ugly and violent. Players from both teams rushed toward the stands, pleading with the spectators to restore order. Even Argentina's goalkeeper, Emi Martinez, attempted to climb into the stands to confront the police. This contest ceased to be a matter of football and instead became a matter of security. It was a rivalry that stood on the brink of spiraling into a major tragedy. As the chaos in the stands escalated, one man stepped forward and took a firm stand. Lionel Messi witnessed this violent assault on his compatriots and led his entire team off the pitch. His message was clear: "We will not play this match," he later stated. "We were more concerned about the violence than about playing the match. We retreated to the dressing room because that was the only way to calm the situation." It was an unprecedented display of leadership. The world champions refused to be part of this farce while their own supporters were being beaten. As officials scrambled to restore order, the match was delayed by nearly 30 minutes. When the teams finally returned, the atmosphere was not merely hostile, it had turned toxic. Every tackle felt heavier, every word was laced with tension. A football match still remained to be played, but it had become secondary to the drama that had already unfolded. The stage was set not for a classic encounter, but for a grueling battle. When the whistle finally blew, the first half following the pre-match chaos unfolded exactly as one might have expected: brutal, tense, and utterly devoid of beautiful football. There were 22 fouls in the first half alone, a statistic that perfectly reflected the fragmented and aggressive nature of the game. This was no tactical chess match, it was a street fight. Despite the absence of injured stars like Neymar and Vinicius Jr., Brazil arguably made the better use of the few chances that arose. Just before halftime, Arsenal's Gabriel Martinelli came closest to scoring, only to see his shot miraculously cleared off the goal line by the omnipresent Christian Romero. Argentina, on the other hand, struggled to find their rhythm. They were locked in a tumultuous battle, a match defined more by petty skirmishes and yellow cards than by fluid attacking football. As the score stood at 0-0 and the halftime whistle blew, it became clear that the fate of the game would be decided by either a moment of brilliance or a solitary error. Across 64 matches and decades of dominance, Brazil had never lost a World Cup qualifying match on home soil. In the 63rd minute, everything changed. Argentina won a corner, and Giovanni Lo Celso delivered a superb cross. Rising above 2 Brazilian defenders, the veteran Nicolas Otamendi powered a header into the net, beating Alisson to find the back of the goal. 1-0. It was Argentina's only shot on target all night. The Maracanã Stadium fell silent. The impossible had become reality. Just one goal was enough to shatter Brazil's reputation as invincible on their own turf. Brazil's frustrations soon boiled over. In the 81st minute, substitute Joe Linton, who had been on the pitch for a mere 9 minutes, received a straight red card for a foul on Rodrigo de Paul. Reduced to 10 men and utterly demoralized, Brazil's fate was sealed. On a night where courage mattered more than flair, Argentina's warriors were truly worthy of acclaim. They put on a masterful display. Nicolas Otamendi emerged as the true hero, scoring a historic goal that future generations will long remember. Christian Romero stood as solid as a rock in defense. His defensive prowess was impeccable. Highlighted by a crucial goal line clearance, Rodrigo de Paul, as always, was at the heart of the battle, absorbing opposition fouls and driving the team forward. Even Lionel Messi, who was relatively quiet on the pitch and came on as a substitute in the 78th minute, played a pivotal role. His leadership in guiding the team off the field was arguably the most heroic act of the night. For Brazil, on the other hand, the night was one of utter despair. Their third consecutive defeat saw them slide to a surprising 6th place in the standings. While Argentina cemented their position at the very top, this night was defined not by the roar of the crowd, but by the silence that descended upon the Maracanã Stadium following Otamendi's goal. It was the sound of history being made. Brazil's fortress had crumbled. Their 64-match unbeaten streak in home World Cup qualifiers, a record that had stood inviolate for decades, had finally come to an end. The violence that erupted prior to the match left a dark stain, triggering investigations and disciplinary actions against both federations. But the story on the pitch was entirely different. After the final whistle blew, the Argentine players gathered in their section of the stadium to celebrate with unbridled enthusiasm. This victory meant far more than just 3 points. As Messi put it, "This team continues to achieve historic success, in my opinion." Winning this match in this manner ranks as one of this team's greatest victories of all time. The significance of this 1-0 victory was immense. Argentina not only reaffirmed their dominance not merely as world champions, but as the undisputed kings of South America, but also ended the year atop the qualifying standings. For Brazil, this defeat spiraled into a national crisis. This marked their third consecutive defeat and their first loss on home soil in World Cup qualifiers, a result that pushed them into a precarious 6th place and heaped immense pressure upon both their coach and players. This was no mere one-sided defeat. Its repercussions ran far deeper. It was a psychological blow, a conquest of a seemingly impregnable fortress. Argentina did not merely win a match, they claimed a piece of Brazil's. They proved that, no matter how hostile or chaotic the environment, this champions squad possesses an unbreakable winning mentality. Brazil came to fight, but they departed bearing a wound that may never truly heal. It was an unforgettable, chaotic, and historic night for football. Argentina conquered the Maracanã Stadium in a match that truly had it all. What were your thoughts on the pre-match drama and this historic outcome? Who, in your opinion, was the man of the match? Share your views in the comments section below. And if you enjoy delving into the passion and drama of the beautiful game, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a match highlight. Ultimately, beneath the dazzling floodlights of the Maracanã, one thing stood crystal clear. This was about far more than just 3 points. It was a tale of resilience in the face of violence, of unwavering resolve amidst fierce hostility, and of shattering a historic record. It was the story of a team that, bolstered by the courage of their captain, stood unyielding even when confronted by the most daunting odds. Brazil did not just lose a match, they lost a piece of their identity. Meanwhile, Argentina continued their winning streak, their crown as world champions shining brighter than ever before.